Hi everyone and welcome back. Pax Autocratica is not a conventional colony sim, grand strategy game, or pure shooter. It is a single-player hybrid where you personally walk around a science fiction colony, manage individual citizens and production, then leave that base to fight first-person roguelite battles beside those same citizens. It entered early access today at €24.89 until August 24, after which the price becomes $29.99. Whether that combination sounds exciting or exhausting is the entire buying decision. Before the reasons to buy or skip it, here is the exact loop. At the colony, you place and upgrade buildings, assign named citizens to mining, gathering, hauling, research, cooking, and manufacturing, and produce food, weapons, armor, and supplies. Citizens have useful stats, needs, age, stamina, relationships, loyalty, fear, and the potential to fight or rebel. Policies can push longer work, harsher punishment and surveillance, or use comfort, healthcare, food, and celebrations to keep society stable. Then you use the star map to visit resources, merchants, and combat encounters. In battle, you control the leader directly, bring a squad, give simple orders, shoot through infantry, vehicles, mechs, and bosses, and collect temporary cores that change weapons, projectiles, or allied soldiers during that expedition. A weakened humanoid enemy can be captured, carried home, and imprisoned. Back at the colony, that captive can eventually become a worker or soldier, remain a warning, or be sacrificed. The temporary roguelite build ends, while the colony, crafted equipment, recruited people, and broader progression persist. This is not territorial grand strategy. You clear encounters to feed a war economy and expand the state. The first reason you might buy it is the connection between both halves. A soldier is not just an icon generated for one mission. That person can work, eat, become exhausted, form bonds, cause trouble, receive equipment, and then stand beside you under fire. Expeditions return resources and captives. The colony turns those gains into a larger workforce, stronger gear, and a bigger force for later battles. If you enjoy Cult of the Lamb or Moonlighter because one mode gives the other mode meaning, this is the most distinctive part of Pax Autocratica.
The second reason is combat buildcraft and spectacle. Weapon cores can alter how a gun fires, combination cores reward matching sets, and squad-focused effects can strengthen allies or make them expendable shields. Early skirmishes grow into dense projectile patterns and larger battlefields with artillery, tanks, mechs, and supporting forces. It is deliberately closer to an accessible power fantasy and bullet hell than a tactical military simulator. You still need to move, manage ammunition, exploit weak points, and decide whether a target should die or be captured, but the appeal is chaotic momentum rather than precise squad micromanagement. The third reason is the regime simulation. You are not locked into playing a cartoonishly cruel dictator. Fear, propaganda, prison conversion, and executions are available, but comfort and prosperity can also create loyalty. The dark comedy comes from treating human relationships and basic welfare as production variables, while the game keeps reminding you that every useful worker is still an individual. If moral sandbox choices, strange citizen stories, and the fantasy of shaping a dystopian state matter more than perfect economic realism, this layer gives the hybrid its identity. Now, the first reason you might skip it is that neither half is a full specialist game. The colony is not RimWorld with equally deep psychology, and it is not Factorio with belts, power networks, processing chains, and elaborate efficiency puzzles. Your colony is not a tower defense target. Base raids are not part of the current design. The battlefield is not an RTS where you command hundreds of units from above, and the gunplay is not as focused as a dedicated roguelite shooter. The game works by combining approachable versions of several genres. If you mainly want one of those genres at maximum depth, the other half may feel like an interruption rather than a reward. The second reason is pacing. Colony work happens through physical buildings, terminals, inventories, and individual assignments. Production, crafting, and research take time. Later requirements demand more materials, and you cannot turn every delay into instant progress. Battles also pause the management rhythm, while colony chores interrupt the one more run rhythm. The launch build can still stutter around a busy base and contains rough lighting, interface, and localization edges. If you dislike walking between management stations, waiting for jobs, or returning from action to diagnose food, staffing, and morale, the hybrid structure becomes friction very quickly. The third reason is early access scope. The current purchase is single-player. Online co-op, colony crisis events, Steam achievements, deeper prisoner conversion, expanded affinity and relationship systems, Sectors 3 and 4, new battlefields, bosses, weapons, and buildings are roadmap items, not reasons to buy today. Early access is expected to last roughly 2 years. The order can change, and the price is planned to rise for version 1.0. Buy for the loop that exists now, not for the promise that every planned system arrives exactly as imagined. There is one more piece of context. Pax Autocratica is a major redesign of Earth from Another Sun, an older project that moved through an MMO phase and NFT-era monetization before becoming this conventional, single-player Steam release. The present store product does not list NFTs or pay-to-win purchases, but the long pivot explains why some assets and systems can feel inherited from different versions. If development history affects your trust in an early access purchase, that is worth considering separately from the current gameplay. Pax Autocratica makes sense at €24.89 if you actively want both halves: personal colony management with morally messy citizens, and flashy first-person runs that bring people and resources back home. It makes less sense if you want deep logistics, base defense, grand strategy, uninterrupted shooting, co-op right now, or a finished campaign. The safest choice is simple. Try the free demo and notice which feeling is stronger when the game changes modes. If returning to the colony makes the battles matter more, the hybrid is doing its job. If either half feels like a chore blocking the part you actually want, waiting will not change your taste.